definition of the fracture. What is the fracture? How we can define the term fracture? Fracture is any breach, any break, or any discontinuity in the bone is known as the fracture. Fracture could be open or the closed. There are two basic categories of the fracture. Fracture can be closed or simple, or the open or compound. What type of fracture we can say that it is a closed or simple? If the overlying skin remains intact, if any bone got fractured, and now the overlying skin but the overlying skin is intact, so that type of fracture is known as a closed or the simple fracture. And on the opposite hand, or on the other hand, if the skin or one of the body cavities is breached, so this type of fracture are known as the open or the compound fracture. Fracture can result from the any injury, any road traffic injury, any sudden trauma, any sudden heavy blow of force, or the second is the repetitive stress, repetitive weight bearing, repetitive heavy lifting, repetitive vigorous type of exercises as well. The last but not the least is the abnormal weakening of the bone, or you can say simply the pathological fractures. Pathological fractures. This picture, the slide is showing you the mechanism of the injury and the fracture. You can easily see in the picture A, or in the figure A, that the force is a twisting force. The arrow is showing you the twisting, the force direction, and this line, the darker line, the black darker line will show you, is showing you the type of fracture. So if there is a mechanism of injury in which if there is a twisting force, the fracture pattern will be the spiral pattern. If in the picture B, if there is if the force is a compression force, if the force is a compression force, then the fracture could be the oblique pattern. Fracture can be the oblique pattern fracture. If there is a bending, if there is a bending forces applied on the bone, then the fracture will be the butterfly or the triangular fracture. And in the last, if the mechanism is the tension, means the both forces pulling the bony mass or the bone tissues or the bone cells apart from each other, so this type of mechanism or the force application can cause the transverse pattern of the fractures. So these are some mechanisms of the injuries and their relevant fracture types. Types of the bone fracture according to the anatomical overview. This is the normal bone. Transfer fracture, if the bone divides into the equal halves, or you can say simply without any fragment or without any oblique line. If there is a simple horizontal transverse line occurring, or the fracture is found, so this type of fracture is known as a transverse fracture. This is the oblique fracture, spiral fracture, comminuted fracture, segmental fracture, in which the segment of the piece of the bone is separated, evergent fracture, impacted fracture, torus fracture, and the green stick fracture, which is common among the children and the age of the, especially at the till the age of the 10 years. Fatigue or the stress fracture. This is the fracture. A bone, like other materials, react to the repeated loading. Yes. Whenever you carry the heavy load or the heavy lifting or any heavy task, will perform any physical strenuous physical activity or the vigorous physical activity, in the response of that you can get easily fractured, or your bone will be fractured. But if you are doing multiple times, this is not the story of the 2 to 3 times of doing this type of activities or such activities, but if you are doing this type of activities from years, or from at least months, 6 months, 8 months, so then your bone can get fractured. This type of fracture is known as the stress fracture or the fatigue fracture. On occasion, it becomes the fatigue and crack develop. For example, the military persons and the ballet dancers or the athletes. These are the professions in which the stress fractures or the fatigue fractures are commonly found. A similar problem occur in the individual who are in the medication that alters the normal balance of the bone resorption and the replacement, like if there is an imbalance between the your bone formation cell osteoblast and then reabsorption of the bone by the osteoclast cells. So if the patient is using a long-term medication or any steroid drug, in the response of that drug, if there is an imbalance between the osteoblast and osteoclastic activity, so this is the chances. So there are the chances to produce the fatigue or the stress fracture. For example, the patients with the chronic inflammatory diseases who are on the treatment with the steroids or the methotrexate. So these are the examples. If the patient is taking the methotrexate, or as well as if the patient is taking any steroid, or due to any chronic inflammatory disease, or due to any other carcinomas, any systemic illness. So due to these reasons, if the patient is taking long-term medication, so this long-term medication can alter the balance of the osteoclast and osteoblast, which leads to the fracture, and the fracture will be known as the fatigue or the stress fracture. Pathological fracture due to any underlying disease. A fracture may occur even with the normal stresses if the bone has been weakened by the change in its structure, for example osteoporosis, osteogenesis imperfecta, or the Paget's disease. So these are the again some underlying diseases or some underlying problems or the systemic problems by which the person can easily get fractured his or her bone. So but after these diseases, the fracture will be known as the pathological fracture. Complications of the fracture. What will be the early complication? There are some early and there are some late complications. So what will be the early complication? Early complication may be the visceral injury. Means early complication sudden after the fracture, if the blow is so heavy, or the force of application is so heavy, or is in a greater amount, so the fracture or the damage could be the deep, or maybe the visceral involvement in it. So the visceral injury can also be seen in the fracture and the complication of the fracture. Vascular injury is the most common one and is the most dangerous one as well. The compartment syndrome, the Walkman's contracture are most common, the flexion contractures of the Walkman contractures. Nerve injury, hemarthrosis, and the infection. These are the early signs, and these are the important complication or the early complication that one should have to be in his or her mind before treating or before managing the fracture. Late complication are the delayed union, non-union, or male union, which are the common late complications of the patient due to the misalignment, due to the fail in the union, or you can say there are a lot of factors involved behind the male union, non-union, or the delayed union. It could be your nutritional deficiency, it could be your mobility during the exercise, during the immobilized phase of the fracture, or any infection, any vascular problem, or any avascularization, or the less blood supply towards that area or that injured area. So these all are the factors, or the age is also the contributing factor to the late complications, or simply the delayed non or the male union. Tendons rupture, myositis ossification, and the osteochondrosis or the osteonecrosis are the common late complications of the fracture. Diagnosis can be made on the behalf of the clinical features and the radiological findings or the x-rays. Simply, clinical features, a history of the trauma, or by knowing the mechanism of the injury. Symptoms and signs, the pain and tenderness. Patient will complain pain and tenderness, swelling, deformity, loss of function, crepitus, nerve, and the vascular injury. So these are the common signs and symptoms of the clinical features or the common signs and symptoms of the traumatic fracture or the simply fracture. Radiographic findings, another tool for the diagnosis of the fracture. So the radiographic finding, plain X-ray should show joint above and below joint at least two views, means from the AP view, anterior posterior, or from the posterior interior view, or if there is needed, or if you think that the anterior posterior or posterior interior views are not sufficient to diagnose or to see the fracture or to see damage of the bone, so go for the special view, oblique view, or the lateral view. CT scan could be helpful, and the MRI. MRI is the least helpful, but in the severe stages or in the involvement of the CNS or the trochanteric disruption, you can go for the MRI as well. But commonly the plain X-ray are enough for the diagnosis of the fracture. Treatment principles of the fracture. What will be the protocol, or what will be the sequence, and what will be the direction of the treatment of the fracture? Number one thing is the reduction, means if the bones are the alignment should be maintained. If the bones are not aligned, if the bones there is a gap between the bone during the fracture, so just reduce or just reduction of the bone, or just compress the bone, or you can say just approximate the bone in the neutral or in the right alignment. Maintain the reduction by holding until the union, by applying the POP, or by applying some braces, splints. So just maintain the, or just hold the, or just, this is known as the immobilization period, or simply this second point is known as the immobilization period. First go for the reduction after after the surgery, and then for after this not surgery, means fracture. After the fracture, initially go for the reduction, and after the reduction then hold the fracture part until the union. This phase is known as the immobilization phase. And then third phase is the rehabilitation phase. Just rehabilitate the patient to restore the functions by movement of the joint and patient itself. Last, prevent or the treat complications. If there are chances of the secondary complications, or if there is any other avascularization or the vascular problems, so just prevent and treat the complications. Fracture management, because in broader way we have the closed and open fracture, so there is a slightly different because the mechanism of injury is different, and the presentation, clinical presentation is different, so management is also slightly different of the closed fracture and of the open fracture. So the treatment of the closed fracture, emergency care, splinting, number one thing. It's an emergency care if there is an open fracture and there is a bleeding and there is a leaking of the blood from that part, so just simply go for the number one thing for the compression or the splinting, just if there is a splint available. And definite fracture treatment, if the definite fracture treatment means if there is a need of reduction, or if there is further open during the surgery, or not surgery because it is a closed fracture, so there is no need of the surgery. So definitive fracture means maintain the alignment. First go for the distraction and then approximation for the maintaining of the alignment, and then lastly the rehabilitation, muscle activity and early weight bearing. Definitive fracture treatment, what should be the definitive fracture treatment? Union of the fracture or maintaining of the alignment in the most anatomical position compatible with the maximum functional return of the extremity. So there are two types of the fracture management, conservative and the surgical management or the treatment. Conservative means without surgery, and surgical obviously by opening the wounded area or the fractured part. So the conservative management, reduction if displaced. If there is a displacement in some fractures, in some small joints fractures and small bones fractures, they are just hairline fractures, and there is no need to reduce or reduction because the bones are not displaced. they are just get hairline fractures. So if there is a need, or if there is if the bone is displaced, so go for the reduction. Underline general anesthesia if the part is larger and the part is painful, and the patient pain threshold is so low, so go for the general anesthesia. The sooner the better. Okay, so the step for the reduction is the traction. Track the body part or the track the bone area along with the stretching of the muscle and the skin. Align, which fragments means the align the body area or align that bone in the neutral position or the neutral alignment, and then reverse mechanism of the injury means after the alignment go for the approximation. First distract the part, first track the part, and then align and go for the reverse mechanism of the injury or the approximation. Immobilization by applying the POP, plaster of Paris, cast, slabs, or the traction, fixed or the balanced. Rehabilitation phase, this is the part of the conservative. If the fracture is closed reduction, traction in the line or the bone. This is the closed reduction. There is no open surgery or the opening of the wounded area or the fractured part. So this is the closed reduction. Go for the traction. Stretch the body part slightly forward, and then when the surgeon or the physician feels that the body is now in the alignment and there is no any bony fragments or bony parts or the bony fragment simply no more there, so he will allow the approximation, disimpaction, and then pressing the fragment into the reduced position. Close, this is the example of the closed as well as known as the undisplaced, or you can say the closed reducible conservative treatment. Apply the POP by the help of the X-ray, identify the type of fracture, identify the mechanism of injury, and then go for the traction and alignment and then approximation. This is the example, and then apply the POP or any cast or any brace for the immobilization phase, and this is also known as the healing phase. And after this healing phase or after this approximation phase, after this immobile or the immobility phase, there is a part of rehabilitation. Actually, the rehabilitation starts with the immobilization phase. This is the plaster of Paris, and this is the method of application, how we can apply the POP by wetting this bandage and then application. These are the examples of the splints. Then you can also give to your patient if there is alignment is not maintained, and if you think that after traction when you have left the part, then it will go back towards the fractured position and alignment will not maintain, so give some splints that will maintain the alignment or the position. Traction, this is some example of the traction by the gravity or the skin traction, fixed traction, balanced. So these are the examples of the traction. Surgical management means the open reduction, internal fixation, or the external ORIF, or the which is shortly known as the ORIF, open reduction internal fixation, means application of the internal fixators by opening the area or the body part or the bone, and the external fixators or the external fixation. External fixator methods in which you can apply the POP or the traction external fixators, like the splints, braces, right? Internal method like wires, pins, screws, nails, plates. So these are the methods of the internal fixation, or these are called the internal fixators. Now there is a small role of the rehabilitation in managing of fracture, but it is essential for the early recovery. Restore the function not only to the injured parts but also the patient as a whole. Our focus should not be only on the injured area or the injured part or the fractured bone, but whole the body should be involved in the exercise by applying or by doing some range of motion exercises simply, or the some stretching or some improvement in the muscle strength and power by the resisted exercises, by flexibility exercises or the stretchings and so on. The objective of the rehabilitation team or the physical therapist should be to reduce the edema. Edema can be reduced by the elevation, icing, compression. So if the environment giving you the permission, or if you are permitted to apply any modality, so after the recommendation of the physician or the orthopedic surgeon, the therapist should apply some modalities, or simply just elevate the body limb or body area for reduction of the edema. Preserve the joint movement by doing range of motion exercises of the most distal part. So the rest, elevation, mobilization active or the passive, means ask the patient to do by himself or herself any range of motion exercise, or the physical therapist or the occupational therapist perform the range of motion exercises. That is why I have written the active or either passive. Mobilization means the movement, means the activity, means the simply range of motion, or the stretching, or the or some other light activities or the ideas by active or the passive method. Restore the muscle power and guide the patient back to the normal activity. So this is the rehabilitation, and there is a small portion of the rehabilitation in the fractured area or in the fractured bone or after the fracture. Initially there is a very little role, but after the fracture you can in the patients you can see a lot of contracted muscles, or the flexion contractures or the extensor contractures, or the alteration in the sensation. So if you find any kind of complications after the removal of the POP cast, or after the healing process, and after the time span that needed for the complete recovery from the fracture. So if you find any secondary complication in the sensation alteration, or in the terms of muscular weakness, which are very common, and in the terms of less mobility, or the limited range of motion, or the slightly decrease in the range of motion because of application of that POP, or in the internal fixators or the external fixators. So there, after the fracture, there is a greater role of the rehabilitation to improve the muscle and bone health. This is some examples of the reducing the swelling or the reducing the edema. Swelling or the edema can be reduced by this machine, as you can see in the picture A and in the picture C. In the picture A or in the picture C, that there is a machine. There is a machine which is producing the intermittent venous fluxus pumps. Intermittent compression and relaxation means like a pumping action. The machine is performing the pumping action, or you can say the intermittent venous fluxus pumps on the foot and on the hand to help the reduce swelling. So by that you can reduce the swelling. Or in the picture B, you can see that there is a stockening, or there is a sock which pressure sock which producing the pressure, which applying the pressure on the vessels or the vascular structures to improve the circulation. So by this manner, or by this way, by this method, you can also reduce the swelling. Okay, so lastly, in the picture D, or in the figure D, you can say the Coban wrap around a limb to control the swelling during the treatment. So this is the Coban wrap, which is also again useful. This wrapping right? This skin fold wrapping is also a bandage type of wrapping that is also responsible for reducing the edema or the swelling from the limb or from the fractured area or the fractured part. So such modalities can be used by the physical therapist or from the occupational therapist, but especially the physical therapist playing the greater role in managing all these swelling or other complications or any sensation alteration or things like that. So this is the role of the rehabilitation or the physical therapy after the fracture or before the healing process. So this is all about the fracture and the rehabilitation. Hope the topic was not so much difficult, or you have cleared everything. And again, my last sentence, that if you feel any query, any problem, or anything that you think that is not cleared, so you can ask in the comment section. Thank you so much, class, and all the very best for your exams, and especially for the rehab module exam.